Huh? Oh, recording.
Recording.
Sí.
Buenos días for the third time.
Ay, buenos días.
Yeah.
Todo el mundo.
Now you're saying it in Puerto Rican.
Todo el
How
mundo.
lovely.
Todo el mundo.
Muy bien.
Bello. So we're going to lesson 324.
Sí.
324. I merely follow, for I would not lead.
Cheers to that.
Father, you are the one who gave me the plan for my salvation to me. You have set the way I am to go, the role to take, and every step in my appointed path. I cannot lose the way. I can but choose to wander off a while and then return. Your loving voice will always call me back and guide me. My feet are aright. My brothers all can follow in the way I lead them. Yet I merely follow in the way to you as you direct me and would have me go. So let us follow one who knows the way. We need not tarry, and we cannot stray except an instant from his loving hands. We walk together, for we follow him, and it is he who makes the ending sure and guarantees a safe returning home. I merely follow, for I would not lead.
See. I think that's the best one I've ever heard. Best lesson.
Yeah, we can't get lost. We can stray off the path a little bit, but can't get it wrong, and we can't not get to that, como es, the destination that is where we started, where we're already at. There's nothing happening. There's nothing to do when we get to that point where it's like nothing's happening. I'm sure that when uh when it all dawns on us, we're gonna be saying how crazy we were. I think we were like on this journey and apart and separate when none of that is possible.
See.
I'm un vacío de palabra. We're empty of words.
That's my contribution.
The cough?
Yeah. Yeah, I usually start coughing when I don't want to talk. It's nothing. So yeah, all is good.
Está bien.
Perfection in everything.
See.
So we have the house in Puerto Rico so that Gary, you can start planning if you are feeling low.
Yeah, I was thinking about it a little bit yesterday after we all spoke.
Yeah, we're gonna be there from January to May, to the end of May or mid-May. I don't know. It's 5 months. Va a estar chévere. Ay, oh, cualquier cosa. The great thing about this is that I feel like Either way is fine. If I get there, it's fine. If I don't get there, it's fine. You know, I think that at some point we had talked about, like, when we start to have these plans and we start to have this anxiety and don't have that. If it happens, if it doesn't, it's fine.
That comes with the loveliness of the loveliness of the present moment. We have come to recognize that we cannot be in the present moment and worrying about things of the future. It's either one. It cannot be both.
No.
And all of a sudden, the present moment has so much love for us and so much care that we can really abandon the ego's planning with total certainty that that love will not go anywhere. And it will not diminish. It will just extend and expand and expand. So therefore, like the lesson yesterday, the sacrifice is only fear what we sacrifice. So that's not a sacrifice. Because instead of fear, since one is in the same place and both cannot coexist, when we give off fear, automatically love is there. And everything that comes with the love that is not of this world, which is a happiness, a sharing. It has so many facets to it because it's everything actually. And we can apply it surely to anything that comes, you know? I mean, literally everything. Be it something in the dualistic world or be it something in our seeming separate mind. You get to the appreciation and the experience that to love one is to love all. And surely the ego, the ego has not taught us that.
No.
So there comes the happiness and appreciation for what has been done through. And yeah. Now the way is not important because we're really there. There's no time and there's nothing else to forgive because we're ready to accept it all now. And then everything that comes just comes to add to that abundance, which we are clear between us three that has nothing to do with material things.
Mm-hmm.
And it's an abundance of eternity. It's an abundance that is always present and has never changed. So therefore we can be happy with whatever comes to our way because we know that, first of all, the ones that love us will not lose us. We will not lose them.
Mm-hmm.
They cannot be lost. You know, you have accepted them, not for what they did or how they were, but for what you really are in them. The Course has a saying that in your brothers you find yourself or lose yourself. And you can only find yourself if you find yourself in everybody and everything. Otherwise, you will lose yourself completely because it's a matter of totality, and totality takes one instant. One instant of recognition makes everybody and everything your brother, but not as the ego thinks that is another body. It's yourself actually, because it's only one self. And then the ego start fucking and saying, no, but how you gonna make that practical? You're gonna be lost. You're gonna be under a bridge. You're gonna be despised by everybody that loves the ego. You're gonna be burned. And then we have to just accept the experience.
Mm.
Because there are no words that are going to convince us. Only the experience will show you that this is real. And when you know, once you know that this is real, but then there are no ego talks that can disrupt your peace. And even if it comes and takes you by surprise, but it will do that, then you're happy that you can see it. And
Yes.
you're happy that you know that that is something necessary. It's not like, oh, I don't want this, blah, blah, blah. No, it's something that, okay, this is here. Okay, this is mine. I cannot push it away. I have to welcome it and see for what it is. And once I see it for what it is, I'm seeing myself. So I'm seeing my desires, I'm seeing whatever I want to see, I'm seeing it. And I am grateful that now I have accepted the help to see it and to transcend it. Not pushing it away, but welcoming. Because if you don't accept that you are provoking whatever is happening, you will not be in a position of power to transcend it and release it totally. And then you keep on forgiving one motherfucker after one motherfucker after, and it will be endless because the ego will keep presenting motherfuckers all the time. That's what it does.
Sí.
So that's why it seems to be a process, but it's really an instant. The instant that you recognize that you can do it and how happy you are when you do it. I was just thinking with the whole Lupita thing and everything, how in the past when I was growing up and trying to adapt to the world as I saw it fit, I didn't like when it was shown to me that I was wrong. Actually, I remember very, very vividly how when I first started studying law and I really felt enamored with the process, the first year for me was like an awakening. Este, my prayer was to what I thought it was God at that moment. Don't let me be so stubborn that I don't recognize when I am wrong.
Mm.
But now the feeling is so good and so different because I'm happy. Whenever I'm shown that I'm wrong, it's a reminder that I'm always wrong when I see it through the ego's lens. And now I see it with happiness. As soon as I see it, I smile.
Mhm. Sí,
And that's a brutal change.
sí.
So I'm not an ungrateful motherfucker anymore.
It reminds me. Go ahead.
No, it's just a comment that the change of vision. It's a decision in the mind to see with the with with Christ's eyes what's happening.
Yeah.
And I've seen that what the course says that the ego always has its response first,
Mm.
and and for me it's just like, okay, giving it space, not attaching to that thought, the ego thought, and then letting it go so that then I can get over to what I want, which is I think is what Adriana is saying, is like, that is wrong, I don't want it, I want to see with true vision. Then you have all of the gifts there that come to you, and then we're happy to be shown that that thought, that ego thought, is wrong.
I
And I think
remember.
that prayer is beautiful, the one that you said.
Ya, deja que Gary hable, coño.
Espérate, que me gusta lo que dijiste, lo de please let me not be so stubborn. She's telling me to shut up.
To let you speak.
I've already, she's,
But
I
it's
know,
Plenty of
okay,
time.
you're already one.
I know what you're
Plenty of
thinking.
time.
I've been listening you talk for 27 years. Shut up. I want to hear someone else talk.
I've been hearing you for 27 years, please. Give me.
Okay. Yeah. Zip it. Go ahead, Gary.
What I was reminded of was, you know, I worked with my teacher Curtis. I've worked with him for 15 years or something, and it seemed that whenever we would have these, we'd call them satsangs, these conversations, they were always held at a fairly high standard of communication, if you will. And one day he said to me in a very gentle way, he says, you know, I speak to you from this place of truth. I'm paraphrasing. I speak to you from this place of truth. Do you see how your mind always goes back to ego in response? Like, no, I do now, but I didn't then. And so the moment he said that, I became aware that in future meetings as we met along, that tendency to always respond to truth with ego. And then it became for me an awareness of when do I speak and from where do I speak? Not so much as an issue, a matter of control, but more of just a matter of awareness, seeing that ego stepping in and wanting to get its 2 cents in, which oftentimes was an attempt to connect, but to connect from a place below what was being offered. It was sort of a yeah, but, you know?
Yeah.
And it was a potent offering, giving me a chance to really see how this ego wants to keep pulling it down out of truth in the most simple and subtle ways. Yeah.
But we don't have to fight against that. I think that it's just the awareness, just seeing it and not attaching identity to it is enough, because we have to wait and till that passes, and it gets easier and easier, and it happens quicker and quicker, because we're not, the ego thoughts are gonna be there. No me oye.
Es que hay un cabrón con un megáfono pasando por allá anunciando yo no sé qué puñeta. ¿Tú lo oyes?
Sí.
Tú
No,
sabes.
A megaphone on a car? Yeah.
¿qué está diciendo?
They're promoting an activity that is going to happen on the other side of town. Like, why the fuck they don't promote it over there? But it's okay, all is welcome. Yeah.
Sí. Yeah, the ego's response, since we're not attaching to it and we're not giving it value, and we're not identifying with it, then the supposed time that we spend observing it it starts to become less and less, because it just, como se dice, desvanece, it just goes, it just vanishes, because it's really truly nothing.
Sí.
And then again, we can enjoy everything.
Sí.
Sabes, this is not a path of sacrifice is the word that comes with it, deprivation. This is a path of abundance, but it's not the abundance that the ego dictates. That's why this lesson today it's primordial. Because I have to remember to be grateful for whatever I have in the moment, because it's really nothing. But that doesn't mean in the world like the ego says, oh, nothing, what I will not value. No, I will cherish it. I mean, I cherish these conversations that we have. I cherish whatever thing I watch during the day. I cherish when I drink the beers. I cherish when I smoke the cigarettes. I cherish when I'm cooking. When I'm cleaning, when I'm doing anything, because I really want to be happy in the truest sense, knowing that I can be happy no matter what I'm doing. And being willing, to bring everybody with that. That's the greatest gift. When you take the mask of all of the characters, knowing that only that will give you freedom. And the end, it just becomes a prayer. Don't let me leave anybody out.
Yeah.
Anybody.
You leave anybody out, you leave yourself out.
And then the day becomes like this one too, yeah. This one too, yeah. This one too, yeah. This one too, yeah. I don't want that motherfucker. What? What are you doing to yourself? That one too. Remember, he's not that. You're not this. It becomes a loving chatter that it's so refreshing and so funny within you. That's the kind of relationship that you will develop with the Holy Spirit, because he only speaks of love and peace and happiness.
Sí. Sí, eso me gusta, because it doesn't have the seriousness of the ego. For the ego, everything it has to be serious. But it gets to a point where you start to see these ridiculous things that we do to ourselves and to other people, and we can laugh. And it becomes funny. That's what I like about this path, is that I feel like there's a lot of joy and laughter, but it's not a malicious laughter. It's not a laughter that separates. It's ridiculous. We start to see how ridiculous everything is.
And it's very helpful, because sometimes the ego will bring you things that seems to be difficult.
Sí.
Before you enter in our conversations, I got the news that my oldest son that is in Alaska got positive to COVID and was sick. So it was amazingly surprising how beautiful the lesson was and how grateful I was for all the situation, because I really could truly see it with peace and with happiness and with hope. Because the first thought that really came to me was, how good that if he has to go now, he don't have to spend 40 years more of this shit. That was the first thought. And then it progressed into some others, and later I had to come with the possibility that I will not see him anymore. And I went through that not with fear. I went through that with the hope of love, and it didn't last long. I was very surprised with that. I'm very, very grateful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that happened while we were at the monastery.
Yeah.
I had a nice conversation with him yesterday.
How is he doing?
He's doing great. He's always done great.
Yeah.
You know, those people that come into this life not giving a fuck and giving all love to everybody, and it's selfless, truly selfless. I remember when they were young, the other two were very jealous of him. And I actually contributed to that because I always told them that he was the favorite. But it was something that I really enjoyed because he was this kind of person that knows how to treat you so that you have no problem with whatever.
Mm.
He would come to me and ask me for anything, and I could not say no because in the way that he approached the matter was, tú sabes, undeniable. Was so loving.
Mm.
But then as they grew up, I said, well, he's not the favorite, but he's the one that causes the less trouble. Because the other two were very demanding, were the opposite.
Well, you know that te dieron uno que decía
Yeah,
candela.
yeah, I know. I was always telling him I should have stopped with you.
Just stop.
We would have traveled the world, you know. I had so much money for, go around and have fun.
Yeah.
But and then the irony is that this one has, I don't talk about the course with him at all. But yeah, I do talk about the lessons. For example, we're talking about how one of my latest crises got me really, really to relinquish the desire to control the future, which is what this lesson is about.
Sí.
All the same thing repeating again. And that I had made this promise that I will not suffer for something that is not happening now.
Mhm.
And he could see it, you know? He say, I said this to he has a girlfriend that lives with him. They share an apartment. And he was talking that to her, trying to bring kind of like a present moment, clarity in the dualism, because you know, I don't think they have gone through the process of knowing that God has nothing to do with this world. And just as Astrid doesn't impose on them, I don't do either. But anything can be shared in the present moment, and you can feel gratitude for whatever is shared.
Yeah.
So listen to the silliness. I had to forget. The girlfriend got sick too, got positive too, and then she decided to go. She didn't tell anybody in the family, not even the mother. And then she decided to come to vacation and visit them. And I said to Rodrigo, did it ever occur to her that she could, pass the COVID along to her dear ones? And he said, well, I told her that, but I could not control that. And then he told me that she was coming today back. So he was going to get really, how you say arrebatado in English?
I
Uh-huh.
He's
He said,
getting
well, this is my last day of being in quietness for probably a couple of years. So I'm just going to smoke and order a pizza. And I said, good for you. Join you there. I know how you miss being quiet.
Yeah. Mm. It just reminds me how much how challenging partnerships can be in that regard. You know.
Yeah, but for me, the silence is inside.
Of course.
It's a wonderful situation. At least for me, what I've seen is like what the lesson is saying, we can't control anything outside, because I'm in a situation where I have a lot of chatter outside, and that has been challenging. But it's also been wonderful in the sense that I have this situation that appears to be challenging, but it helps me to go inside so much more, like constantly, because it's there all the time. And I have to go inside, because if not, what's going to happen is the ego's going to come in roaring with all of the grievances and all of, and then the pushback and the I need space and I need silence and I need you to shut up, you know, and that's not at all loving. And it's like, that's not it. It's just an excuse for me to attack another person and to maintain the separation. But when I go inside, there's this silence and the stillness, and no matter what is happening outside, it's like I don't have to, I can just be here, be present, be witness, and that's it.
Or just walk away.
I do that too.
You have a big enough house to walk away.
Sorry, I interrupted you, Gary.
No. I was just reminded of the in the relationship that I was in, the numerous projections that, you know, somebody's having their own ego fit and they want you to join in it. And so often it was a choice of, do I defend this ego, which is just ridiculous? Or there were times where I just said, you know, please take that elsewhere. It's just, there's no availability here for this projection, and it's not for me to fix. So I just invite you to please take it elsewhere. You know? And then she'd be left to do that. Sometimes. You know? So yeah, and the ego can be very demanding in that way. And that point where your son has just finished his pizza and maybe he took one more hit, and then the girlfriend walks in, and the contrast, right? The contrast between that silence and then, I mean, certainly it's ego made, that contrast. He can experience it as this moment, or this is the moment of the next 2 years, you know? It just depends on how attached we are to the silence. But I think what you were saying, Adriana, about the joy, you know, even seeing the moment and being joyful that you're seeing it. This is a complete transformation from the way the ego lives this world. We've been trained, and I have to be careful here because I'm watching myself slipping into justifying the ego right now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the choice before. This is the choice now.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
it. No blame, no regret. Seeing the perfection of it.
See.
Got it, have it, enjoy it, you know, be grateful, share it. In your mind, obviously, you get to share with the others' bodies too, but, you know, that's not essential.
Right.
That's an added bonus, but it's not required. And the course is written in dualistic terms, you know, because it's needed. O sea, oneness doesn't need a course.
Mhm.
And the course has to come in a language that duality can get in order for it to relinquish duality eventually. So you will find that, you know, many people seem to be in different levels, but that will be of no concern because they are one with you. So in that sense, you know, you'll be ready when you need to say bye to somebody or leave your own body to welcome the next experience. In that sense, I regret not having the second book of Gary Renard. I couldn't send it to you because I don't remember to whom I gave it to, which is called Your Eternal Reality.
Say it again.
Your Eternal Reality. That's the second on the three. I sent you the third one and the one of the Buddha, which is a part. But that second one talks about actually and try to describe in words how one feels when we are out of the body.
Mm.
And it has a beautiful paragraph that I remember. My youngest son had a baby girl that lasted only, I think,
Un año
I
y
don't
medio,
know, I don't remember,
18 months, I think,
18 months.
or
Yeah.
20. He didn't. I don't think
It
2
was
years.
a process because he went there to try to make things right, and then he got back here and she was very angry, and then the girl got sick, and then he tried to go back, and then the family ended up putting him in jail, accusing him of being aggressive where he was not. Uh, it was a big process of forgiveness that lasted many years because even after the baby girl died, the mother refused to correct that detail on the government agency that seeks for alimony, for pension. And for a couple of years, I mean, like 4 or 5 years, he accumulated a debt of like $15,000 on a baby that was not alive. And she could have, you know, it was so easy for her just to call the agency and inform them of that. But eventually it got resolved without a lot of forgiveness because I had to deal with the papers and the agency and the thing. Because I knew that needed to be resolved. Because if you don't act on those things, they keep on adding, and you never know, they blow on your face. And he was not in a mental state to deal with that because he was still so much in pain with the whole process of losing their only child. Este, but yeah, it got resolved very nicely, and I always had in mind to use it for my own. Because I always wanted to see everybody innocent, no matter what was happening. And that was my prayer, even though I was writing, probably trying to explain what happened or asking for um, a conference with the judge, the uh, administrative judge, like member of the agency. And then first trying to deal with it with the agency in the United States because it all originated in the United States. And then when it got passed down here, that's when we could do something because when it was over there was no communication possible. And then still they were sending all these letters of debt and, you know, it was crazy. But it's just part of all the craziness, you know?
Sí.
And then again, it's very tempting for the ego to feel like a victim. Why do I have to deal with this shit? This is not mine. But really and truly, everything is yours. There's no such thing as a problem in the Middle East, you know? It's in your culo. Everything. And we need to accept that with happiness. And that can only come from the joy of the spirit.
I think you started to reference a paragraph in the book. Did you?
Well, the one that described the place in words what we experience when we are out of the body.
Yeah.
Sí, but I don't have the paragraph with me.
Oh, okay. I thought, okay. Misunderstood.
No, I'm just saying it to you because that is one of the most memorable things that I remember about that
I
book.
see.
Because,
I see.
okay, that's why I entered into the other thing. Okay, I had that paragraph with me when my son called me from the States and announced that the girl had died.
I understand now.
It was so beautiful that I had the book with me at that moment, and I was at a table with all my other, with my other two children and with their couples at that time, and Antonio, who was my husband at that time, and that we could all join in prayer with that paragraph with the baby girl. And I didn't plan that, but that kept like a little memory of synchronicity for me with that particular book.
I see.
Because really what we're all doing here is learning to become spirit. And we're so very much afraid of that we will do anything not to. When you encounter a paragraph that describes in words, even though you know that is not literally true, but if it brings you peace, why not?
Mm.
And I have not ever encountered nothing that describes that state. Not even Anita Murjani's description of her passing, That paragraph is so beautiful and perfect.
You have to look for it now. But quiero leer.
¿Tú lo tienes?
I think I have that book. It's called The Eternal Reality.
Ajá, how to end the cycle of death and...
Okay. Yo creo que está en alguna parte. I think I have that book. I'm going to look for it if I find it.
It's towards the part that they take him on a journey through time and space and then bring him back before the moment that he was going to be born in the next life.
Okay. 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 Because you don't have the book anymore. You gave it away.
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
Okay. Yeah, that's happened to me too.
Yeah, then things tend to disappear when they are not needed.
No, but I think it's great because I give things away and I don't remember. And I think that the not remembering is great because there's not an attachment to it. There's not, if I gave something away and I don't remember who, when, what, then for me, it's like, okay, so I gave this away and I gave it freely because I don't remember. I gave it without any expectations or attachment. It was like, go ahead, llévatelo.
Who was the author? Who's the author of that book? Those books?
But that's the second book in the series of 3 books that go after the disappearance of the universe. So it's got it.
Oh, so it's
It's
remembered.
a series of more apparitions after the ones that are, and the third one is the last one of the apparitions. The one with the Buddha and Christ, I don't remember, it has apparitions in it. Astrid, do you remember?
sí. I think it's 3 books. ¿Cuál es el tercero?
El amor no olvidado a nadie, Love has forgotten no one.
Son 4.
And they're good.
Yeah.
I like the Buddha one. The Buddha and the Christ one. That one is the last one that I remember that I thought was fantastic. Actually, I should read that again. I know I have that one here. I saw it the other day. I have it here.
Yeah.
Hmm.
You send it to me and I send it to Gary. You should be receiving it this afternoon.
Really?
Yeah, I send it to you, the third one, which is Love has forgotten no one. And the fourth one, which is the Buddha and Jesus. And that's when I recognized that I didn't have the second one because I was gonna send you the whole thing.
I'm not sure I'm going to be able to meet with you guys for a few weeks. I've got a lot of reading to do.
That's okay. We will be with you. There's no way that you can forget about us.
There is no way I could forget about you. So are most of these books of his by him, are they like this disappearance of the whatever it is, universe or whatever? Are they channeled?
Not really. They are recordings and
From talks?
transcribings of the meetings that he had with the ascended masters, and sometimes some experiences that he had in between visits is included too.
I see.
Most of it is of the material that is given to him. Towards the end of the book, but there's a longer period in between visits in which he starts reading a bit, writing a bit more.
I understand.
But they are
Oh,
very helpful to see with lightness everything that happens. Because they put everything into perspective very quickly.
yeah.
And they talk about everything, you know. And I'm personally, when I read them, I didn't have any doubt as it was, if it was a hoax or it was something authentic. For me, it was just a blessing, just like the course. I had really I'm telling you, the only thing that I had against the book is Gary's personality. But that didn't stop me from getting what I wanted.
No, of course. Easy to skip through those sections of the book. But does that change in the other books? Does he kind of mature a little bit, or is he?
Yes.
Well, eventually he does. It takes him like 20 years.
He does.
Yeah.
But it's nice. Well, what else?
Nada.
I was going to ask you, Gary, did you play tennis? Because I remember that you brought the first analogy that you brought was playing tennis with a lower level person. You remember that?
No. Say again. Say again.
Astrid.
Yeah. I don't remember that. She says that you at some point at the
The
beginning.
first analogy that you brought, you can check it. I think it should be recorded. That you say that I don't know, because sometimes when I play tennis, if I play with somebody that is on a lower level, my game is not that good. But if I play the game with somebody that is higher, well, then my game becomes better and blah, blah, blah. And then you again, you said, I don't know if the example is very good, but so
Yeah, that was the conversation I'd had with Kirsten, and I was talking about the people that were at the retreat and how I just wasn't inspired to be there. And you know, it just, I used that metaphor
Do you
with
play
her.
tennis?
but the
No,
question is, do you play tennis?
oh, do I? I see. No, I'm too old to play tennis. My legs would.
I
No.
know that for myself, but do you
I used
play?
to play.
Exactly, because otherwise, why would you bring the example if you
Yeah,
hadn't gone
yeah,
through the process?
yeah. No, I used to play many years ago, but today
Yeah,
I
David
would
used to
fall.
play too, and me
I
too.
would fall to the ground, and I would be laying there going, "Huh? Look where I am now.
How wonderful!
How wonderful. Where's that chubby boy now?"
Bueno, gente.
I just wish that you have a great day.
Both. To you, same to you both.
Yeah.
And Astrid, if you wish to have something to tell me, let's use the other.
¿Cómo?
If sometime again happens something like yesterday in the afternoon,
Okay.
let's use a different channel. So
It's
we
no
don't have,
problem for me. I looked at one point. I looked at my phone, and it was like 57 notifications. I'm like, "Holy cow! What are these girls talking about?" And the beautiful thing is that it's all in Spanish, so I can just go, "Oh, okay," just like that app's gone.
all right. Well,
It's
then
no
it doesn't
problem for
matter
me.
then. That's
No.
good to know. It doesn't matter as long as it's in Spanish.
Okay.
Yeah, no. Well, if it's in English, then I'm assuming that I'm included.
You're included in the Spanish as well.
Well, that's true, but then I have to go through Google 57 notifications. I'm going through Google Translate trying to keep up with you guys. No,
No,
I'm
thank
not
you.
doing that.
No, thank you.
I thought that you could read it.
Oh, thank you.
I thought that you could read Spanish. I didn't.
If it's of a similar quality to one of these two books, I'll take the time.
The other stuff is just
Yeah.
bad jokes. Really crap.
Yeah, I figured that's probably what some of it was, if not most of it. So
Yeah, Astrid was telling me that I could not go without not going to Manatee. And she was supposing to see Pocahontas because she was very moved by the theme of the white man coming to the Indian girl, you know, and
She's a
she told me I'm not gonna see that I'm not gonna see that movie. And then when she brought up at night that I had to go to Manatee, I said, well, I will go to Manatee when you see Pocahontas.
I'll sacrifice myself.
That started the whole conversation. And then we ended up having memories for like from 20 years ago with my brother that died and her first husband that died. We were the four of us together in Culebra Island, which is a beautiful beach, the most beautiful beach in the island. And we had a great weekend over there. We all got drunk and we had a lot of fun.
nice.
But yeah, it was kind of reliving the past, but now seeing it for just what it is, a joke.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Very
That's
good.
the brief. Let's debrief on the 20, whatever, 50 something.
Bueno, gente,
Well, I'm gonna read today. I'm gonna be home and reading. So
I have to
thank
prepare
you.
for the day.
Enjoy yourselves. Have a great day. I'll be
Thank
here doing nothing.
Perfect.
Adiós. Gracias.
Adios.